not seen it before, right? So this is one way of showing it. Like the cat, this was in Chocolate Market, but unfortunately, this market has been demolished. Yeah, this location, I cannot bring you there anymore. It's no more. So this is a cause for concern. Like, I can understand why they're demolishing the market. Hygiene is a problem. You see the cat lying there with all the food that they're trying to sell, right? That's a very big problem already. So, but it makes a nice photo. And I like that. This one is a wide angle lens. I didn't stand on top of it because it's an ultra wide angle. So I just, by the way, if you don't know, I'm actually quite I'm not a short person. So I can stretch my hand on top over my head and get this shot lah. Right? Yeah. So this is over the head shot, a flat lay of the cat, and I like the colors of the tomatoes and the limes and the ginger. And the ginger actually matches the cat, right? So, and then this is reflection. I love to play reflections, and there is a story with this photograph. This was taken in Kuching, Sarawak, and this was an old cinema, and you see the steps, the blue steps, and then the yellow patch in the middle. That yellow patch is the entrance to the old cinema in Kuching. Yeah, unfortunately, because the cinema is closed down already, the building has been repurposed into something else. So this particular location has a significance to Kuching people. Yeah, so I'm just taking this shot. It looks like a normal street photograph. It's meant to be a normal street photograph, but then just in case, if you're in Kuching, I would love to bring you there also. Yeah, the bright colors and reflection and everything just makes for a nice photo, right? This is a bridge in Pudu, a pedestrian bridge. I love pedestrian bridge because of the lines, the repetitions, and everything, right? This is low angle. The camera is literally on the floor. Right? The camera is literally on the floor. Right? Go low. Just now the reflection also, the camera is is touching the water already. This go low. Just now this go high, this high angle, top down. This is low angle, the camera is almost touching the water. This is also camera touching the floor, right? To get this dramatic angle, right? You need to get it a little bit more dramatic, then your camera has to go really high or really low. This go to if you can climb or go to higher vantage point. I think same with landscape also lah. Sometimes you want to take some landscape shots, right? You have to climb some hill, early in the morning, 4 or 5 o'clock, climb before the sunrise, right? It's the same. Like if you can find a higher vantage point, you can get certain shots which you can't just see from your eye. Because you see, right, when a lot of photographers that take the photo, they put the camera to their eye. And put the camera to using the viewfinder, then whatever you see is very normal. The perspective is very normal. So if you try to present the perspective differently, when you go lower or higher, right, then your photo will appear a little bit different. This is one tip that I can share when you go and do shutter therapy or street photography. Use a fisheye perspective or wide angle lens. This is at New Central, the New Central Bridge in front of the KL Central building. Then what I love to do is I like to lean the camera, press it on the wall, press the lens on the wall, and use the wall as the leading element towards the subject. This is something that I love to do. Actually, this is a common trait for wedding photographers lah. Right? If you're doing wedding photography, you will do a lot of this trick. Yeah, but you can apply it in street, you can apply it in landscape, you can apply it in all kinds of other photography as well. Right, just showing you some of the different ways of composition and framing my shots. I like to shoot through things. This is through a hole. It's like a gate, a fence. There's an opening. I shoot through the hole. I like to shoot through things. But make sure when you shoot through the thing, got something there to shoot, got a subject. So there's this man trying to get something from inside the building, right? And then the appearance of the location, the red wall and the yellow, the window is also very interesting. So when you shoot through something, whatever you're shooting through also must be interesting, right? Yeah. And then this is at Masjid Jamek. There's a huge sepak takraw ball, and then there's a gap in the middle. And nicely, if you position nicely, you can see the KL Tower there, which is nice because both represents Malaysia, right? Sepak takraw is quite a popular sport in Malaysia, and then you have the Menara KL, which is also symbolic of Malaysia when people look at it. Yeah, so we put them together. Again, I put my hand inside the sepak takraw. There's another gap. You see, got one gap there. There's other gap one. So I put the camera inside the gap, and then I shoot from inside the ball. Yeah, I don't know how many of you have seen this, but if you've seen this ball, you'll know and you'll recognize it. Next time you can try this angle. Yeah. Right, so that's unusual perspective. I hope you will try to be more adventurous with your camera. Don't just shoot through your viewfinder all the time. Try to take the camera away from the viewfinder, go a little bit higher, a little bit lower. Sometimes you can go all the way to the ground if possible, or if you can climb higher to a higher vantage point, go to the first floor, second floor, or even the pedestrian bridge. You go up the pedestrian bridge, you get a different perspective already, and get some nice composition or framing, right? Something different. Okay, my third thing that I'm sharing for tonight is mix and match. Oh, this is something I love to do. I don't know, it's so fun, right? You can see the pink shirt bleeding towards the poster at the back. And then I like how the yellow is so high in contrast against the pink. I love to play with colors. I love to play with lines. I love to play with patterns. So this is something that we're exploring next. Yeah, I'm sure you know what I'm doing here already. You see this photo, right? It's so obvious. I don't even have to tell you what I'm doing. And I didn't ask the man to stand there. He's already there. I didn't do anything. I just see it, I take the photo, and then I walk away. Right? You can see lines, pink, it matches. And then I purposely didn't straighten this photo. Actually, I can straighten it up. I didn't straighten to show you that sometimes to get a shot, you have to be quick. And there'll be some compromise. Your photo will be staggered a bit. Some things will be a little bit off. Maybe it's a little bit underexposed because you didn't change your exposure composition, right? Something you have to sacrifice a bit, but it's okay. The moment is more important. So for this particular shot, I want to see the man's face. I want to see him there. So I take the shot first, and I look at it. I'm happy with it. There's a little bit of imperfection. It's okay. You cannot. I know there are some perfectionists. Some photographer, everything must be straight. The ISO must be this. Then, all the numbers must be all sui on. Everything must be perfect. But for me, it's okay. For me, sometimes I have priority. Like for this moment, it's more important. Then if saying it, it's okay, right? I'm just sharing my perspective lah. This one also, you can see. Actually, what happened is, I walked past them, and then I saw it. I didn't react, and then I reversed. Then I take the photo. So I was too obvious already. Then the man saw me and he smiled, right? But you can see what I'm doing, right? Blue and blue, yellow and yellow. Right, so this is in Petaling Street, and all these things are out there. All you have to do is just open your eyes, see it, and capture it. And believe me, you just really have to open your eyes, and it's so nice, And once you get it right, the feeling, it's like I don't know lah. For me, it's like hitting jackpot already lah. I know it's different lah. If you want to hit jackpot, then you can buy car, buy house. But for me, this photography wise, for me, it's jackpot already. Yeah, and then this lady walking by the pillars of all this, and there's all things happening here. Not just the lady's shirt and skirt, right, matches the poster's yellow shirt and jeans, the color, not just the theme, but then the appearance-wise, one is young, one is older, and then there's so many repetitions, right? To me, when I see this kind of shot, I really love it. To me personally, this is a winning shot for me already. Although I know this will never win any competition. So the joy, right, when I see this and I got it, I don't know lah. I don't know you'll get the same feeling as not lah. But for me, the feeling, the happiness stays for weeks, I don't know how to describe to you guys. Right, this one is also quite common. The good thing about Malaysia, right, compared to a lot of Western countries, I noticed Malaysians love to wear colors. Red lah, blue lah, pink lah, yellow lah. I tell you, all the shirt and pants, all kinds of colors out there. For me, as a street photographer that plays with color, I love it. So you see here, right? Actually, I actually didn't want this lady one. So you see this photo got this lady, right? At first, there's no lady. All I wanted was the taxi, which is red and blue, that matches the background. You see the background, the pillar is red, right? And then the what you call that? The holding at the back, the holding the blue, right? And then the top there also blue. So there's blue, red in the background, and then the car is blue and red. That's it. And suddenly the lady walked by. Sui lah. So sometimes you just have to be out there, So it's not just two matching, So the lady also red and blue, car red and blue, the background also red and blue. For me, win already, right? Yeah. So again, this is another example, red and blue. So if you compare the previous shot better, this one nothing special already, right? Again, another red and blue example. See, this one got three layers also: the car, the bike, and then behind it there's a lady and the guy also red and blue. Right? Yeah. again, so this one is more new recent photos lah. So of course, recently I don't do a lot of street photography already lah. I tried a lot of the photos that I show you are before the pandemic and before the MCO. Recently, only is now it's safer to go out, so I started to take more and more photos again lah. But so far also I haven't gone out with friends yet. I only go out myself. So I saw this. I think by now you know my trick already lah. See the blue and the orange again, the gate, right? So it's quite obvious what I'm trying to do here. This is another one of my favorite shots. This was taken in Pudu. Yeah, and then actually the background is there already. Sometimes for street you find a nice background. So this background is already there. You imagine the background with no lady. You just wait for the right thing, something to walk by. Then you snap. Yeah, so this shouldn't be too hard. Yeah, just nice. This lady with the transparent umbrella, and then her dress, the color matches the background. Wow, then I got the shot already. Right, so before that, I got a few other like guys or uncles walk by. Still looks okay, but this one, because of the transparent umbrella and because of the dress, that it makes the shot. All right. Okay. Repetition, things that matches. I love to put things together. One. This is like jigsaw puzzle lah. You find things and you put them together. All right, and this was in Bangkok. So again, all these are cleaners, the train cleaners. They clean the train, take the things out. Yeah. So, yep. So I hope you see what I'm trying to do there. That's the third thing. Mix and match colors, patterns, lines, repetitions, things that you can. It's like how you put things together, you frame them together. And you'll realize that if you look back at the photos, right, if I want to share the trick with you, a lot of these photos are not really taken with wide angle lens. I don't use wide angles. Like this one is Olympus 45. 45 in full frame is 90. Meaning that I need to cut a specific part of the frame from a distance. I didn't go really near, right? Like this one is also 45. 45 is 90 mm. This one, I can't remember how I zoom, but I remember possibly I also zoom until 40 or 42 already. A lot of these shots, this is 25 mm, 50 mm equivalent. A lot of these shots is easier to do if you don't use wide. If you're a wide angle shooter, like if it's 35 mm, 28 or 24, it will be a little bit harder to maintain the perspective or to just cut out certain part of the frame, right? So it's easier to isolate. So just to share my experience lah. If you want to do this kind of photography, we'll go out. Right, so the last thing I'm sharing tonight, is I think to me it's the most important thing and the most important advice I can give to a lot of photographers. If you are new, I know a lot of you are more experienced than me, so you may already know this, right? But if you are new to photography, the most important advice I can give you is, if you are learning, shoot something that you like. Go out, whatever, right? Whether you're doing landscape, doing inside, doing whatever, doing macro, doing portrait, whatever, shoot what you like. Find the subject that you like. Because if you shoot something that you don't like, you'll be like, ayo, you look at the time, then you're with your friends, then you're like, I'm just out here, what am I doing? So make sure that you're shooting something that you really like, so that you're invested. And then when you take the photo, you look at it, it's something that you yourself know that you wanted to do, right? So shoot what attracts you. So when I find this man, I know this is illegal. Men here, I think in KL, you're not supposed to keep exotic animals, right? So I guess if the police found me and then here's this photo, I don't know what happened to the guy lah. But anyway, so I saw this thing. It intrigued me. It piqued my interest. So there's some issues happening here. So I took the photo, right? So there's a statement to be made. And when I saw this, it's so obvious. It attracted my attention. Right, this is in Wasekai in Pudu. I don't know you guys. This was actually during last year, around September, October, that time. Things are opening up for a while before things get really, really bad in Malaysia. Yeah, so this was like September, October, around that time. Yeah, so obviously
so it will be very, it will be very nice, if he's eating a roti tissue.
Unfortunately, they don't have roti tissue in Wasekai. It's Chinese food.
When I see this picture straight away, I remind me about roti tissue.
Roti tissue. Yeah, true also. Yeah. Okay. So like this is in Pudu Market. Yeah, I think the kid is bored and tried to put the head through the metal frame. Yeah. So he just put it there for like 1 second, so it'll be very quick. So I saw this. It's something unusual, something out of the ordinary, something out of place. Something interesting, something funny, something that attracted my attention, something that I find interesting. So I took the photo, right? So you have to ask yourself, what is attractive what attracts your attention, what you find funny, because we all have different brand of humor, right? Yeah, what I think is funny, you may not think is funny. What I think is interesting, you may not think is interesting. So it's okay, if you look at my photo and you tell Robin, I think your street photo not that nice, I don't think it's interesting. It's okay, one. I'm perfectly okay with that kind of critique because we're all different. Right, you may find different things interesting, then you go and look for those things, Huh? I'm not here to tell you what's interesting, I'm only here to share with you the shots that I like. I personally like. And what I like and what you like may be different. That's very important. I think that's also what happens to a lot of photographers. They disagree, right? And then why you say my photo not nice, then the ego got bruised and that kind of thing, right? But sometimes at the end of the day, it's all preference. Right? Yeah, like you may not agree with me, it's okay, man. Huh? This photo is something that I have a short story lah. So I was in Bangkok and I saw from this is very early morning, like around 8:30 in the morning. I saw from behind these parents. I thought they were parents like carrying babies. So wow, got babies. I want to go in front and take a photo. By the time I go to the front and ask, can I take a photo? Then I realized those are not babies. Too late already. I take the photo. Then I thank them and I walk away. And then I asked my friends, and my friends told me that there's a culture in Thailand that when they take care of these dolls, there will be certain spirits that live in the doll, and if the dolls are very well taken care of, the dolls will give them blessing. That's the belief, Yeah, so I didn't know that, So I realized that, wow. So to me, it's like, I found this interesting. I found that it attracted my attention. Then I took a photo of them. Actually, when I ran in front of them, I took a photo of them. When I realized that those are dolls, I wanted to speak to them, but I also were a bit scared at that time. When I look at this, I also a bit scared. But it was interesting enough for me to actually take a few more different compositions before I left. Right. So find something interesting, something different, something unusual. And you have to go out enough to find all these things. This one, if you look carefully, it's a shark. It's a baby shark. Look carefully, This is in Pudu Market. Yeah, a lot of fish, but then it's a baby shark. Then if think about it, is it legal? Is it ethical? Is it right to catch baby sharks? Then you have all these questions coming in. Yeah, from this just a very simple photo, right? Yeah, and then suddenly got ducks out of nowhere. This is at the Ghost Lane. What you say in Cantonese already? I can't remember. This is in Petaling Street, the Ghost Lane. Yeah, Kwai Chai Hong, I think.
Kwai Chai Hong.
Yeah, Kwai Chai Hong. Yeah, and then something unusual, something that it sees very, very out of place. They take a photo. Yeah, right. Then the lady tried to protect the kid because it's very hot. It's a very, very hot day. So she tried to cover the kid with the tudong, right? Yeah. I like cats, as usual. So what happened is this man is trying to go down and the cat is using the man as a bridge to go across. But because I pull my camera out so fast, then the cat also turned and looked at me. The cat didn't care about me because I react so fast that the cat also like, wait, what is this guy doing? Yeah. Yep. And then mannequin falling down and the lady tried to catch the mannequin. It's interesting because I feel that this is a very, very unusual photograph. And of course, one thing that I want to remind everyone is that, we are in Malaysia, or depends on which part of the country you are, but if you are in Malaysia, we have so many cultures, and our cultures are so beautiful. This is Hari Raya Korban. And I'm not just talking about Hari Raya Korban, right? We have so many. We have Deepavali, we have, what's the one in Thaipusam, we have Holy Festival. Those are the Indian festivals, right? And then we have so many interesting festivals. And then we have Ninth Emperor God Festival, the Chinese one, around sometime in October, right? We have so many of these very, very, very interesting festivals happening in Malaysia. And all we have to do is just take our cameras out, find these moments, find this drama, and just take photos. Right? We don't have to go far. Photo opportunities are everywhere around us. That's what I'm trying to tell everyone. I will not go through this so much. I'm just putting this here because it's something that I like to do. But I also realized that I cannot do this much these days. I like to take portraits of strangers. I like to just strangers, but because now everyone has to wear masks, right? And I cannot ask them to take their mask off. It's also very rude. It's also wrong. So, but this is going to show you it's something that I love to do. I just want to take portraits of people. I like to see people's face. I like to see the facial expression. I like to see them smiling at my camera. I don't know, it's very hard for me to explain. You see this photo, there's nothing special. It's just a photo of a man. But I like it. It's very hard for me to explain why I like it, right? Yeah, just a random guy smiling at me, right? A foreign worker, right? Migrant worker. This man chilling at the backyard with the teh tarik, in his hand. It's I like shots like this. I don't know why. I cannot explain to you. And like I said, find something that you like. You don't have to explain to people you like it. You take it lah. It's you. Your camera is yours. Your time is yours. You are the photographer. You have full control of your creative output, right? Do whatever you want. Or don't just listen to people. People say, oh, you must do this, you must do that, right? To me, I love this collection of photographs, these portraits, right? And will it be an exhibition one day? I don't know. Will it become something huge or viral? Who cares? The most important thing is, like I said, I enjoy doing it. I love the feeling that I get capturing all these photographs. And that's what shutter therapy is to me, right? And I think that chicken may not be alive anymore lah. Right, so I just want to talk about street photography. The reason I put Olympus here is because, like you know lah, I'm an Olympus visionary, but it doesn't matter. Any camera out there is good camera. For me, if you want to do street photography, find a small camera. Small camera is better than big camera. If you have, let's say lah, if you have a 1DX or a full frame, a D800 or a big camera, I'm sure if you have that kind of money to buy those expensive equipment, you can spare enough money to get a smaller camera, a mirrorless camera. Any brand is okay. It can be Sony, it can be Canon, it can be Fuji. There's a smaller camera. Don't worry about image quality when you do street photography. It's not the high ISO. Come on, I'm shooting outside under the bright sun. How high ISO I use? I use ISO 100, 200 only. Even your smartphone camera is good enough in that situation. So don't worry about dynamic range. Don't worry about high ISO. What you have to worry is what you like and the dramatic moment. Those are the important things, right? So that's why I encourage you to go out and shoot more. The reason I use Olympus or smaller cameras, important small cameras, easier to pack. You don't want to carry huge cameras when you walk around Petaling Street, a huge backpack with like 10 kilo of a camera and lenses. No, just carry one camera, all the small lenses. Even a compact camera, like for example, a Sony RX100, the 1-inch sensor, is already very good, right? Yeah. So to me, I prefer smaller camera. And small camera doesn't mean bad, Even a small camera, if you look at the quality, is still very, very, very good. Actually, I tell you lah, guys, honestly, these days, this is my belief lah, there's no bad cameras anymore. There's no bad cameras, only bad photographers, right? So it's up to you what kind of photographs you want to do, right? To me, why I use Olympus for street photography, I find it very good, is small and light. Very, very small lenses. I will go back here. See, the lenses are very, very, very small. I just like everything so tiny and so small, and yet give me good results and the image stabilization. So imagine I go out and take this kind of shots without a tripod. I can handhold for 4 seconds, right? No issue. Right, and autofocus is good. To me, autofocus is also very, 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 very important to capture all the moments. So, what have we learned? Conclusion time. Conclusion time. Right, I love cats law. By now, how many photos of cats already? 10, 12? I really love cats law. Yeah, and these are the things the 4 things that I'm sharing tonight. Find moments, find drama. All right, try to see a different perspective with your camera. Go high, go low, shoot through something, put your camera at weird places, show something differently, right? Mix and match. Find colors, find patterns, find repetitions, find lines, mix and match, right? And then very, very important, find something that you really like and shoot it. I love cats. People will say, why you should take photo of cat? It's very normal. Who cares? I love cats. I take photo of cats, right? Yeah, shoot something that you really, really like. Right, so my message is, please, 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 please go out and do some shutter therapy and have fun. Right, that's all for my sharing. I will stop sharing my screen now. All right, let's get back.
Wow.
Back to you, Michael. Thank you so much. Thanks, guys.
Wow. Very interesting, very interesting. Okay, guys. For those that have a question, please unmute yourself and you can actually ask Master Robin directly.
Don't call me Master. Don't call me Master.
Yeah. A couple of questions in the chat group.
Okay.
Let's scroll back.
Okay.
From Tio.
Okay.
I just want to ask, mostly what can we shoot during the MCO lockdown stay home? This is a question from JS
Uh, so I hope you're in Malaysia, right? I hope. So currently you can go out with your camera already. So we are not really stuck at home. So once you're out, there's a lot more possibilities. But if you are really at home, then to me, I have personal projects lah. It's more like documenting myself and what I do. It's more like you find something about yourself, your story that you want to tell. It can be personal. It can be something that you don't show to people. Like for myself, the photos that I take during the lockdown of myself during the past few months, I'm not going to show people. It's very personal. Right? No nude shots, nothing pornography, by the way. Just that it's not something that I'm comfortable. It's a personal story lah. So basically, there are a lot of things that you can do, like maybe you go through some depression, you want to document that as well. They do a lot of black and white shots in the dark room, in the corner, make it very stylistic, play the long shadow, dramatic light, There's a lot of things you can do. But for now, if you're asking me now, if you're in Malaysia, you can go out already with a camera. So outside lighting is better. There's so much things to see, so much things to experience. And I think it will be good for mental health if we can even if you don't take any photo, just walk and see things, absorb things around you. Yeah, that's my recommendation lah. Yeah.
Another question. One more question from Kwan. Kwan was asking about. He was saying that I know he saw you using 45mm f1.8 and 25mm f1.8 on EM10 Mark II.
Yeah. Yes.
So he was asking which one is the best.
For me, when I use the 45, mostly it's for portraits. You see a lot of the portrait shots because I want the blur background and I don't want the distortion on the face. I want everything to be proportionate. So I use the 45 f1.8. But a lot of my street photos, I also use 45, mainly because I want everything to be perfectly, like if you use wider lens like 35 or 24, you see a lot of weird perspective distortion, right? I'm not saying that it's bad. It's just my preference not to have the distortion. So that's why I use 45, and I have a little bit of distance to work with. But if you're talking about strictly street photography, if you're talking about more conservative and what street photography for, like even documentary photography, a 25mm will be a better lens. 25mm or 35mm 25mm in Olympus term lah. If you're using full frame, means 50 lah times 2. So 50mm perspective, which is a 25mm lens for Olympus, is better because you can see a little bit more background. And sometimes we want to tell a visual story, you will need to include elements in the background to support your main subject. It's not just one subject. You need to include surrounding items to push a stronger story. So if you are doing an environmental portrait, then the 25mm or the 50mm perspective is a better lens to go. I use both interchangeably. I can't say which is better. Like I said, for portraits, I will definitely use 45 in certain scenes. But if I know today I just want to do street, not portrait, just street, then 25 is the better lens. I hope that answers the question.
Kwan? Okay, yeah. I think Kwan is also asking whether do you edit your photos? Because he realized that most of your photos are SOOC or straight out of camera.
No lah, I edit. But my edit is, if you look at my photos, right, it's not until like the HDR or over one lah. I will correct the white balance, straighten a bit. My photos got so, like I say, right, a lot of times I prioritize moment. So photo was staying it a bit, maybe a little bit off, so I have to crop a bit low, then contrast, maybe sometimes a bit underexposed. I'm not perfect on lah, like most people also do mistakes. So correct a bit of exposure and color a little bit, but nothing dramatic. My aim is to present the photo to look realistic. That's my aim. It depends on your goal of editing. Like sometimes, some people, they want the photo to look fantastic, like some conceptual portrait where they have rainbow, they have some glowing golden light. It's okay. Those are very nice photos also, but my street photos, I want them to look as if you are there. That's my goal. So it depends on what you want to do with your photo. And some people like black and white, so you can do all black and white, high contrast also. So this is not wrong. Yes, I edit my photos. So it's not straight out of camera. Okay, next question.
Okay, Harley was asking about, I think Harley was saying that he loves your style of having fun in your street photographies or in your street photos. Is that I stay away from street photography because I see most people mostly post street photos in black and white only.
Oh, no lah.
Do you
Yeah,
do you arrange street photography event? Okay, so this is his second question. Yeah.
yeah. So black and white is a very good medium because because when you look at the photo, right, if you don't arrange the color properly, the color can actually help you or destroy the photo. Because the color can be distraction. Like if you look at me now, right, you look at my red dress, my red shirt will be the first thing that you see because the red power is overpowering the whole thing. And there's the same thing with a frame. Colors can be helping you or it can be your enemy. So for me, in my case, not all the time it will work, but I'll try to use the color to my advantage. But sometimes when the color doesn't work, I also use black and white so that the color is not distracting from the moment or the main subject. Yeah, so that's why you see a lot of black and white because the black and white will just take away the color distraction and just focus on the subject. But you don't have to follow the rules, right? Like I said, do what you like. I love colors, that's why I do a lot of colors. I don't really organize a lot of outings. My outings are usually very small. I also believe in smaller outings because, like, imagine if you go out 10, 20 people. Now definitely cannot. I don't think we can organize 10, 20 people. Later the police will come. But let's say no pandemic, right? I usually don't like to go out with like 10, 20 people because at the end it will become like a chit chat session, then become a mamak session, teh tarik session. It's not really a shooting session already. So normally I will go out with maybe just 3 or 4 friends. Yeah. Another member, Hali, that you know from PSVJ that is amazing in street is Raja Indra Putra. I learned a lot from Raja Indra Putra, Ripi. Yeah, you can check out with him, maybe connect with him and see whether he organizes things or not. Yeah, I don't mind tagging along Rippy and maybe some of the official PSVJ outing. Yeah, I've actually been to a lot of PSVJ outing, but I'm always like looking in the background, trying not to take attention to myself. Yeah, but I would definitely love to come out and maybe share, maybe even give a talk to PSVJ. Yeah, that will be possible as well. Yeah.
Another question from Guan. For Olympus camera with setting contrast set to -2 RGB, set to -2 can always get sharp photos. What is your opinion? Guan, I don't understand your question. Would you mind to ask Robin directly?
I just want to ask about the Olympus camera. I heard that if we set the contrast to -2, then RGB to -2, we can always get the sharp photo. So what is your opinion on this?
I think it also depends on the scene. Like if that particular shot has a lot of contrast already, like let's say under the direct sunlight, imagine you're outside, 12 o'clock, no clouds, the sun is so strong, right? There's very high contrast already. So if you -2 the contrast and saturation, then you'll get quite a neutral shot, which is better. But if you are, let's say, in a room with a fluorescent light, let's say your room now, there's not much contrast, you don't have enough light to work with, and then you minus the contrast, someone minus the saturation, then your photo will look even flatter, it will not look nice. So the contrast and saturation is very lighting dependent, I would say. So what I do is I will shoot raw. If you have not shot raw before, I'll encourage you to try. It doesn't cost you any money. You just have to set your camera to raw and then try some post-processing software and then play with the contrast there. Yeah, you don't have to rely on the camera. You can edit it afterwards and you will not destroy the photo. Yeah, that's something that I can encourage you to do. But I don't believe in a fixed setting because it's very dangerous. Like, let's say that under the bright sun, right, the -2 works. But what if I'm in a restaurant with very poor lighting? Then the -2 will make things worse. Do you understand? Yeah, so it's not like one universal setting that can apply to every single scene. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Adrian Chu, I think he's trying to compliment our Pastor Robin. He was saying that one of the most energetic and passionate presentation that he has ever, I think, watched. Yeah.
Thank you.
He really showed, he says that you are really show your passion in photography. Thanks for sharing, he was saying. Okay.
I just want everyone to go out and enjoy photography.
I agree.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, John has got a question. I think John is from US. Is that John?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Do you find that people in the street are generally receptive to being photographed? It's a very good
Okay,
question.
so I have interesting answers to this. I can't speak for you if you're in the US because I have not been to the US, but in Malaysia, there are places where people are friendlier. There are places where people are not so friendly. For example, Petaling Street is not a friendly place. Generally, because there's too many tourists there and tourists like to take photo. So the vendors and then the people working in Petaling Street, they are very allergic to cameras. When they see camera, they will just shy away and say no photo, no photo. So I normally don't do my portraits or people shots in Petaling Street. A lot of those shots are taken in Chowkit, KL, Chowkit area, in Pudu, Pasar Pudu, and the surrounding of the Pasar Pudu area, KL Central, Brickfields, and also Bukit Bintang. Right, so there are a lot of other locations where people are generally friendlier, but Bukit Bintang is a little bit more because it's a shopping district, right? So most people will dress nicely, and people there are previously when there's no pandemic, there's a lot of tourists, so you don't see a lot of locals there, but you get different kind of shots. I'm not saying it's not good, you just get different kind of shots, but you need to know the location where the people are friendly. And generally, like I said, the KL Central, Brickfields, Pudu area, and even the Chowkit area, the locals there, people are very, very, very friendly. In fact, you just walk around with a camera, some of them will ask you to take a photo of them. This is the crazy thing. They want you to take their photo. Yeah, and generally, I think Malaysians are nice people lah. I want to believe so lah. Malaysians are nice people. Yeah.
Does that answer your question, John? Yeah. Okay. We have another question from Archie Ray, I guess. Is it from Dubai? I guess this guy. Yeah. How do you maintain accurate white balance?
Okay, there are two answers to that white balance. One, you see, majority of my shots are taken under the sunlight, and I don't think there is a camera that can screw up sunlight white balance. I don't think so. If you can find a camera that cannot even handle a sunlight, right? Wow, don't use that camera. that's one, right? I don't think it's a challenge for my white balance in most of my shots. But there are some shots that I'm taking indoor in some. You'll see that I've shared. Second trick that I share is shoot raw. Shoot raw. Don't be afraid to shoot raw. Right? If you're afraid, then shoot raw plus JPEG. So you already have your JPEG and you can play with the raw file later, right? Shoot raw plus JPEG. So shoot raw so that you can adjust the white balance with no consequence to your photo. You can change the warmth, warmer or cooler. It's up to you, right? So that would be a very good solution for you to try. And it also unlocks the full potential of your camera. The raw file has all the information, right? So you pay so much money for your camera, so squeeze everything out of your camera. Please squeeze them out, right? Yeah.
Thanks, Robin.
Is there any more question from you, Achire? Yeah, you can unmute yourself. Yeah, you're mute now.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi.
Usually, I'm having trouble doing the white balancing when shooting indoors. So sometimes there's this change of lighting.
Yes,
then when you could do that post processing, right? But yes. I mean, straight out of the camera, if you can do it right, then it would be good. So I just want to practice that.
I find that when things get too confusing, let's say there's too many mixed lighting and things get a little bit complicated, I normally will go to daylight. I'm still shooting raw, by the way. I'm not shooting JPEG, so that I can change later. I will just go to daylight where the white balance the camera will not change it. And the daylight, or was it sunny? I don't know what Olympus calls them this day. The daylight will give you sort of like quite a good representation of what you see with your eye. That's what I find. So you might want to try that and then fine tune it later in post-processing.
Okay, thank you.
No worries.
Okay. There's a question from Livio. Olympus 14, 150mm, f4 to 5.6. For wedding, is this lens good enough or I should add to it some other lens?
Livio, first first of all, it depends on what kind of wedding that you're doing. If that wedding involves a church wedding, and if that church is really dark, then that lens may not be enough, because it's f4 to 5.6, right? When you zoom into 150, it's f5.6, and you will struggle. You may need to push the ISO up to 3200, 6400, even more, and that's where you really struggle. I would say depends. Like if the wedding is outdoor, by the beach, in sunset, or in a garden in the noon, it happens. I've shot weddings by the beach and in the garden before, where I just use ISO 100 all the time. Then of course that lens is good enough. It's a perfect lens. You just use one lens, you can cover everything. I'm just worried that in some situations you're shooting indoor, or if you're covering the reception dinner in a restaurant when the lighting is really dim, then and if the ceiling is too high, you can't really use a flash, then you may need I would suggest maybe a 45 f1.8 to take care of those low light situations, right? Again, depends on your wedding, but weddings in Malaysia, usually you'll encounter low light, and that's where I use prime lenses. I will have a 25 f1.2, 75 f1.8. Even the zoom lenses, I use the f2.8 lenses, the pro lenses. But I'm not saying that you must use these lenses. You have to know the wedding. If you need to cover low light, just be a little bit careful. The lens may not be able to do a good job in a very low light situation. I hope that helps, Livio.
Livio, you have any more questions? You can unmute yourself if you have. Yeah. Okay, guys. Anyone else has got any questions? John has got one more question.
Oops, my battery is empty. Let me just quickly change it. Can keep the question coming. I can listen.
Sure. John was asking, mixed interior light, for example, fluorescent and incandescent, can be challenged for white balance, but can usually be fixed in post. Okay, I think he's just throwing
I agree with that. Yeah, most of the time in post you can change the color a little bit more.
Any more questions, guys? You can unmute yourself. Daryl?
All right, I'm back.
Neil. Yes, Neil. Neil is raising your hand. And Cindy as well.
Hi, Neil.
Hi, Cindy. Hi, Neil.
Cindy, how are
Hi.
you? Long time no see.
Hi.
Hi. Hey, jio me for macro lah. I wait for you so long, never jio me one. Yeah lah. You always go shoot nice photo, never jio one.
I stopped doing macro already.
Then what you do now?
Birding.
Yo, so canggih. Come do macro lah. I miss macro
I call you.
Let me know. Now can already ma. We can go out already. Yeah.
Talk to you, eh?
Can. Nice seeing you again.
Hey, thanks.
Yes. Neil?
Yeah, Neil was raising hand, right?
Yes. Or not. Okay. So, Robin, what is the most challenging part of being a street photographer, in your opinion?
I think depends on what kind of, like, from the street photography that I do, I think it's sometimes like you need to have the mentality that you cannot capture everything, because it can be a little bit, it gets you down when you don't have shots. Like, sometimes when you go out, you have to remind yourself that you cannot capture everything, and sometimes you will come home with no shots and it's okay. Sometimes you go out, right? It's not like all these nice things will happen, There are times you go out, nothing happens the whole day, and you come home with nothing. There are those days, Yeah, and when those days happen, then you really feel very down, because I wasted one whole day, go out and I got nothing. But then that's life, right? You don't win all the time. You don't get winning shots all the time. So I think the challenging part is you just have to keep consistently put yourself out there, go out, try again and again, and then you just have to tell yourself that the shots are there. You just have to be at the right time, at the right place, and the luck will find you. You just cannot give up. Yeah, you go out this week, like Saturday, Sunday, nothing happens. Next week, maybe nothing happened again. Maybe the next week, then something will happen. Yeah.
So it's all about persistence.
Yeah, because a lot of people, they expect something very easy, like, oh, go out straight away, got all these 20, 30 shots, can make one presentation. Wow, the whole presentation file, it took me years to collect all these photos, you know. It's not just all done by one or two weekends. Yeah, so I think it's the same with all other photography. Like, it's not just, you know, I think landscape or macro or portrait also the same one. It's not like, wow, you go out you climb this hill for sunrise, you sure get it. No. Yeah, I think persistence, like you said. Yeah.
Persistent. Yeah, they just have to repeat many times.
Yes.
Actually,
yes.
out of curiosity, Robin, some of your shots, especially those mix and match, the one of the category that you shot. Yeah, mix and match, isn't it?
Mix and match. Yes.
And I mean, the scene or the background is actually very colorful. For example, you know, you found the yellow background and then the red background. And coincidentally, I also see that, you know, you managed to get the model or the subject actually wear that kind of color. Is it coincidence, or is that you purposely asked them to wear like that?
Coincidence.
No, I'm sure it's coincidence. Yeah. So I just wonder how long you waited for that kind of moment to happen. Was it days, weeks?
Sometimes immediately. Sometimes when you're lucky. Sometimes you wait 1 hour, nothing happens. Yeah, seriously, like you wait, you know that it's so beautiful. You just need someone wearing yellow, right? You wait and wait, then 1 hour nothing happens. Sometimes nothing happens. So it really depends on your luck. But that was in the beginning, maybe when I was more adventurous. These days, after 5 minutes, I move on already. I tell myself that if I'm meant to get the shot will come. If I'm not meant, just go on. That's why I said the challenge is to tell myself that I cannot shoot everything. Not everything will happen. I'll try. So I must set a limit. 5 minutes is the limit. If 5 minutes nothing happens, I move on. Yeah.
I see. Yeah.
But you don't have to take my advice. If you want to wait for 1 hour, it's up to you, right? It's okay. Yeah.
It's a little bit kiasu, isn't it? I mean, wait 1 hour, 2 hours.
Yeah, some because they are so sure already. Oh, this is like the setup, you know. Just need one person there. The lighting is perfect. Just wait. Yeah.
Okay. Any more questions, guys? It's 10:08, almost 10:10. Yeah. Oh, no, I think we will end the session very soon. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Very last. Okay, Robin, what would be your advice for someone who really wanted to start street photography? You know, if any of your members would like to venture into this genre. Yeah.
Just go out. Just go out with your camera and have fun. And don't worry so much. Just go out and start to observe, look around you. As a photographer, you have certain things that you like, whether it's color, whether it's the certain way the light falls on the subject, or maybe some more specific things like I like cats. So when I see cat, I'll go and attack the cats. So all of you will have different preference. So find that preference, go out and start to shoot that. Because I think the biggest challenge for even myself, this will be answering to your earlier question as well, is not how to shoot. The technique will come easily. You are a photographer, you figure it out. It's not the technique, it's not how, it's what to shoot. So figure out the subject to shoot will be the challenge. And the easiest way to answer it for you is ask yourself what you like. Yeah, and then from what you like, focus on that. Then you have a photo that is something that you yourself really, you will look forward to go out and shoot. Yeah, then it will be something really amazing.
Yes, well said about that. Yeah. Achire, I saw you raise your hand. Do you have a question?
Yes.
Yeah, last question before you go.
Sure.
I wanted to ask about, are you still bothered about image noise?
Not really.
When was the time that you got over it?
I think, okay, there are a few ways to manage noise. So now I'm not, because if you're talking about using micro four thirds, right? Because I'm not using full frame. So if you're using full frame, you even have more latitude or flexibility when it comes to low light and noise. So using micro four thirds, the few things that I do, one, use prime lens. So I have the 45 f1.8, 75 f1.8, 25 f1.2. So having this f1.8, f1.2 allows me to use lower ISO number. That's one thing. And second thing, if you are truly serious about doing professional work, if you are, let's say if you're a commercial photographer, you'll use studio lights. I don't have studio lights, but I have flash, Olympus flash. So I'll set up the wireless flash. I use the flash power and just drown my subject in light and use ISO 100, ISO 200. There's no noise, right? And even on events, because I do professional photography, I cover events, corporate events. I used to do a lot of weddings. In low light situations, whenever it's permitted, either you bring an LED light, a really bright LED light, put on the stand, or you use flash, right? So you always have a way to counter this low light situation because there are two problems here. One is low light, one is poor light. You can fix low light. Either you add more light or you can just blast the ISO, no problem. As long as it's good light, even if it's very, very dim, high ISO is no problem. But you cannot fix poor light. If your lighting is bad, even if you use the best camera in the world, you ram out the high ISO, the lighting is bad. There's no dimension, there's no shadow and highlight, there's no shape to your subject. The color is like red, green, like all totally blue, like one-dimensional color. You don't see the shape of the subject, right? Even if your camera is good, even there's no noise, the photo is bad. So to me, I always try to fix the light, try to improve the light by using flash or using LED light for professional jobs. You are expected to do that because you want to deliver the best to your client. And in some situations that I really, really have no choice, then I use the f1.2, then I use high ISO. And I'm okay with ISO 3200, 6400, no issues. But if you are in a situation where, let's say you're shooting a theater, live theater, and you have no choice but to go ISO 12,800. Let's say they use candles on the stage. You have to constantly use ISO 25,000 or even more. Then perhaps you need to consider a camera that's more capable, right? So I'm not going to lie to you. You just need to get the right tool for the right situation.
Yeah, I've seen your shots here, your theater shots, and it's really good. And yeah, I admire that.
Theaters are opening, and I'm going to go and shoot theater in a few weeks. I can't wait. Oh.
All right. Thanks, Rami Mom. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Hi, Kishwa. Kishwa is from Dhaka, Bangladesh.
Wow.
Yeah, any question, Kishwa? Yeah, it's a beautiful country. Lots of street photography can be created, I guess. Yeah.
My actually my favorite and my hero photographer, a photographer whom I really respect and admire, is from Bangladesh. And his name is Andrew Biraj, a documentary photographer, award-winning, amazing photographer.
Yep.
From Bangladesh.
Kwan,
I miss your outings, Robin.
Hi!
Especially the macro outings.
Long time. I miss shooting macro. My goodness, all the parks are closed.
You got me so hooked to macro.
Yeah, I wish we can all go out and shoot again. Oh my goodness, I miss you guys. Oh.
Yeah, we really miss you a lot too.
Yeah, thanks for coming in. It's nice seeing you.
Yeah, same here. Hope to see you soon in KL.
Yep, hopefully.
The ban has been finally lifted.
Yes. Can't wait.
Are you coming back to Malaysia soon, Kishwa?
Yeah, I am vaccinated. My son is not.
Oh.
So I'm waiting for my son, to be fully vaccinated.
All right. Hopefully soon.
Yeah, hopefully soon.
Okay, Kwan was asking, what is exposure to the right means? Wow.
Oh, that one is more for landscape photographers, where you need to read the histogram.
For Milky Way, I guess. Yeah.
You need to read the histogram. If it's too much to the right, it's all to the right, means that it's overexposed. So you need to expose it just enough not to push it to the overexposed side. You got to be very careful on the histogram. You push it to the right, meaning that you slightly overexpose your shot to the limit so that you get as much light as possible. So your shadow, when you recover it, you have less noise. It's basically drowning the image sensor with as much information as possible. Exposed to the right. I will not go too much into detail because there's a lot of information available in exposed to the right. The photographer who started this was What's his name? He's the luminous landscape photographer. The guy he's not alive anymore. He runs the luminous landscape. He's the one who started that principle, and it works for a lot of situations. Yeah. So basically, it's just overexposing your shots, but don't too severely overexpose until you can recover. So you have to watch the histogram.
Yeah. Okay. Any more questions? No.
Oh, I just remember his name. It's Michael Reichman. Yeah.
Michael Rahman. Yeah.
I think it's Michael Reichman, right? I could be wrong. My goodness. Reichman. I hope he is. I could be wrong. Oh yeah, he's the founder of Luminous Landscape. Yes, Michael Reichman. Yeah, he's the person who started the expose to the right. So if you go to, I don't know if you can find Wikipedia or any source, he's the person who sort of invented that concept, expose to the right. But don't expose to the right for street photography. Yeah, just it's not necessary. I think for landscape, because you want more color data, you want more dynamic range, you want less noise.
Yeah.
Then it's like Milky Way, for example. Yeah. But not
sometimes we use this technique in Milky Way.
No, for street.
Yeah. I think straight is not really necessary. Yeah.
It's not necessary at all. You have more trouble later. You have to recover everything. You have to edit more or more work for you.
Yeah. Okay, I think no more question from our members.
Right.
Okay, thank you so much, Robin. Wow.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, very, very informative sessions. I think we all learned a lot from you. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Yeah. Okay, see you all next
for
week.
having us.
Have a good weekend. Yeah. Thank you, Robin. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.